Nigeria records exhibition to remember girls abducted by Boko Haram. Star GSM and the Women Empowerment Forum donates medical items to Brikama Hospital. And the former head of the Catholic Church, Pope Benedict, to be laid to rest today. This and more coming on the World Today newscast. Hello, and you're watching the World Today newscast live in our studios in Banjul with me, Mariama Chan. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. The faces of over 100 Chibok girls who are still missing nearly 9 years now after they abducted by Islamist insurgents Boko Haram are being remembered in an exhibition in Lagos. Now, in 2014, 275 girls were seized from the government girls' secondary school in Chibok community in northern Nigeria. Inspired by ancient Nigerian Ife, the sculptures recreates their faces, their facial expressions, and also their hair patterns. Let's hear details of that in this report.
It's an art exhibition of a different kind. All the statue heads here are made of clay. They're portraits of some of the Chibok girls who were abducted in their school on April 14, 2014. 8 years on, 98 of the girls are still in captivity or unaccounted for. And these statues are meant to further draw attention to their plight and serve as a reminder that they still remain missing. The initiative is a brainchild of French artist Pro Nouri. She worked in collaboration with the art department of the Obafemi Awolowo University in the southwest Nigerian city of Ife and a group of local women sculptors to produce the clay heads. Nouri had always wanted to sculpt with the famous Ife clay, and the project provided her the opportunity to do just that.
So, from the heads of the 15th century and from the portraits of the Chibok girls entrusted by the families, the students created their own heads and signed them on the neck. So it's 108 unique heads based on the Chibok girls' portraits entrusted by the families and by the Ife ancestral heads.
What we try to do, is bringing, the workshop experience, as represented by the Ilorin Porters, with the academic experience as represented by the students of the department. So after we procure the clay, we gather these students, and the female porters together in molding the heads. So we molded the heads, combining, two things together. So it has been a very wonderful experience, networking between the university trained, art students and workshop, or locally trained, ceramic students.
Among those who are here to see the exhibition is one of the Chibok girls who managed to escape on the day they were abducted back in April 2014.
When I saw this kind of image, I feel like, wow, how I wish that I would have those of beautiful my sisters back. Because of some of them, they are my friends. We used to have fun together. Some they used to trouble me up, because at that time I'm not talkative, so I want them to be back.
Not much has been heard about the missing girls these days, but the government says it is working to get the remaining girls still in captivity freed. Organizers of this exhibition are hoping that this event will not only keep hope alive for the return of the remaining girls, but also ensure they are never forgotten. The exhibition is set to go on a world tour in the near future.
Nigeria there conducts an exhibition to remember the girls abducted by Boko Haram over 9 years ago. Now, Star GSM, in partnership with Women Empowerment Forum, extended help to the Brikama General Hospital with some medical items. The materials include scanning machine, detergents, sanitizers, among other items. Let's hear details of that in this report. These materials donated by the women group in support of Star GSM will help strengthen some loop areas of health in the hospital, especially scanning issues, as health personnel say. All these support services by Gambians and non-Gambians in the country's fragile health facilities is necessary to keep the hospital going. Our Kamara, president of the Women Empowerment Forum, said this is not the first time the group is supporting health facilities in Gambia with medical items needed to enhance quality healthcare delivery.
We started it.
This is not our first time coming here to the hospital to support. I can say we started the labor ward because during our last visit, we came around to look at the challenges and what the hospital needs in terms of support, and that led us to the painting of the labor ward, including beds and other items. But something came up. We asked the hospital management to give us a ward to name it after Sadauda Kereba Jawara, but they refused. That is why we got relaxed a bit, because Sadauda is the founder of the foundation. However, we sponsored Falikunda Health Center and they gave us a ward we named Deda Haidara. We are sponsoring Tanka Tanka. We're doing all this to help our fellow women.
You sponsor Tanka Tanka Tamit. Women's Wing in prison, you sponsor Tamit. You put the
Our colleague, speaking on behalf of the women group, said the items, which include a scanning machine, is key to the early detection of diseases before they got out of hand.
Lack of medical equipment of the one we are donating today for early detection of disease, specifically cancer and breast cancer. That's what this machine is for. Again, to complement the ministry and the government efforts, people like Lamin Kaba, entrepreneurs and business like Lamin Kaba should be given the support, should be emulated.
The health personnel who received the medical items thanked the donors for the materials.
We are indeed very glad for this kind gesture. The ECG machine, as you said, is something that is very important for our service in the hospital. So on that note, I would like to thank Mr. Kaba in collaboration with your women team. We are very, very grateful for this great gift that has come. And even for the Omo, I think you really know what we need. Yeah, even when he mentioned about the other sanitizers that are coming, those are things that we need in abundance.
The Women Empowerment Forum, which collaborated with Star GSM, is formed basically to help create a brighter future for Gambian women and girls. The group also advocates for gender equality, right to education, and proper healthcare service delivery in the Gambia. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh. Now, digital platform is giving young South Sudanese new business opportunities, connecting South Sudan in a visionary team by the National Communication Authority. Now, this is somehow connecting South Sudan digitally to be globally in bettering delivery, improving interactive, industrial, and also business-wise. So let's hear more of that in this report.
Musa John is a South Sudanese musician. He has been producing music for 5 years now. Until recently, he had struggled to make a living out of his craft. But now, he is signed up to GoGoPlay, a new online platform which charges users to download music, with the revenue then shared between the artists and the platform.
I want to see more digital platform it's creating here in South Sudan, so that it can give us, a way forward that people can have access to get the songs that they need, and also to market us, we as the artists of this nation.
Rachel Akim is the founder of GoGoPlay, which she says is the first web-based music platform founded in South Sudan. Rachel says she is working on improving the business and generating more revenue, which can be shared with artists.
Currently, we're in freemium, and guess what? Every month, I get more than 6,500 visitations. And with high number of signups and downloads plus streamings and views, of which I see there's a future in that. And now I'm planning how to make money out of that.
However, the cost of internet access in South Sudan is still among the highest in the East African region. Internet providers say that's due to high taxes levied on businesses by the government. The latest information from South Sudan's National Communications Authority says internet access currently in the country is about 1.5 million people out of the country's estimated 13 million population. Experts say digital entrepreneurs in South Sudan struggle to find enough funding to get their businesses off the ground.
Financial institutions can, lend a hand towards this space. Because at the end of the day, it's a finance-generating business, the digital space. And giving these resources to these people will help them, push ahead and try to get the business started.
Juba's digital startup scene is still a long way from becoming East Africa's Silicon Valley. But for musicians like Musa John, they believe that the future of their art and their financial success is online.
Young South Sudan is there venturing into digital economy to earn a living. Will take us to a quick break, and we'll be back with more news. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break, and you're still watching the World Today newscast. And now to more stories. Now, the former head of the Catholic Church, Pope Emeritus Benedict, will be laid to rest today in the beneath St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, Italy. He died of declined health due to advanced age on Saturday, 31st December 2022, in the Vatican monastery, aged 95. Our Moses Imeni has the rest of that.
The Vatican on Thursday morning held a funeral service for former Pope Emeritus Benedict after 3 days in which his body was laid in state for public view. The funeral service was led by Pope Francis in what was the first time in many centuries that a pope presides over the funeral of his predecessor. Rome has seen emotional scenes with thousands of people, including those from abroad, coming out to honor the memory of Pope Benedict while his body was in state. And as he lays to eternal rest, the Pope gets an emotional farewell tribute and last respects from billions of Catholics around the world. Being the head of the Catholic Church for 8 years, he was once the man whose theological theories and preachings they leaned on before resigning his position as Pope in 2013. That was the first time that a pontiff resigned his position in 600 years. The Vatican described Pope Benedict as a humble worker in the vineyard of the Lord. According to media reports, Benedict will be buried in the crypt beneath St. Peter's Basilica, in an area that was once occupied by the coffin of his predecessor, Pope John Paul II, and will be buried in the traditional triple coffin. Since the Vatican announced his death, tributes poured in from world leaders including the US President Joe Biden, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and many more. Italy's President Sergio Mattarella and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni came to pay their respects to the former Pope on Monday. Benedict succeeded John Paul II, who died after years of declining health. For many years to come, Pope Benedict will be remembered as a man who dedicated his life to God and the Catholic Church. For Eyeafrica News, I am Moses Imendi.
The former head of the Catholic Church, Pope Emeritus Benedict, will be laid to rest today in the crypt beneath St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, Italy. Now, mining accounts for 12% of Zimbabwe's GDP, and among the wide-ranging minerals, gold stands out. Now, to accelerate the recovery of the sector after COVID-19, authorities are seeking billions of dollars to reopen the closed mines. Details in this report.
Revenue from mineral sales, which rose from $3.2 billion in 2020 to $5.7 billion in 2021, is projected to breach the $6 billion mark in 2022. The Southern African nation is aiming to consolidate the growth in 2023 on the back of rallying commodity prices.
And also you are looking at the new areas of demand which are coming up due to the green transition. You know, on copper, because it's used there in power transmission, on nickel, on lead itself is used in batteries, on lithium itself, which is actually the main component.
However, attracting investment depends on a number of factors, including policy certainty.
What has happened recently, the banning of export of raw lithium, it just came from nowhere. I don't think there were adequate consultations as is supposed to happen with policies. And we also had the banning of exploration and mining licenses for a number of minerals. I think there are about 5 of them. Those create perceptions of uncertainty, and the investors don't operate in those kind of environments.
Mining houses and the government have also been haggling over export retention levels. Elections due by July are seen impacting critical investments and implementation of some laws. There are several mineral-specific pieces of legislation and mining policies that are still pending and are unlikely to be passed into law before the elections. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has said the government will prioritize value addition.
If you look at platinum as well, there's a lot of beneficiation that's also happening in the country, close to the mining, to the mines, and that means it's also going to benefit the country. And the expectation is that if it continues to other minerals as well, that obviously will bring immense economic benefits to the country.
Large-scale platinum, lithium, coal and natural gas projects at various stages of development. Zimbabwe has set a target to grow the mining sector into a $12 billion industry by the end of this year.
Zimbabwe is strategizing to bounce back its mining sector after the COVID-19 pandemic shutdown. Brings us to the end of this edition of the World Today Newscast. For more news, visit our social media handles on Facebook, YouTube and Instagram at Eyeafrica.tv, or you can visit our website on www.eyeafrica.tv. I am Yahya Jammeh. Thanks for watching and do have a good evening.